Welcome to the Chronically Healthy Life show. When you hear the word chronically, do you automatically associate it with chronic disease? We all do. It's been programmed right into us. But what if we flip the whole idea on its head? Let's discover how we can create chronic health in our bodies, our minds, our finances, our relationships, and of course, in our lives. Let's jump right on in. I'm Annie, and joining me in everything is my life partner, Minna.
So first of all, happy Thanksgiving. It's the time of the year that we all eat a lot and we pass out afterwards. But first of all, with Thanksgiving, we always want to get a different perspective in our lives. So let's see if we can watch this video.
Yeah, isn't that amazing that this blind person in and just changing a few words and changing this perspective and things. And I think that's so applicable for Thanksgiving today, right?
Well, it's applicable in several different ways. First of all, we everybody has problems. Just saying because you're blind, I don't know, I'm sick or I'm ugly, I'm dumb. There's always an excuse. So I'm blind. Sure, it is unfortunate, but it's not a great perspective as saying, I can't see the world you're seeing. It's so different.
I agree. And we all see the world so differently. And wow, that almost put a tear in my eye on there. And and it's that time of year that we should be thankful for all the things that happen throughout the year for us. And I think this year in general, most things went pretty good. And we had like one hiccup, but hey, we're still thankful for all the things that's happened to us so far, and really all the people that's brought into our lives.
So you remember there's a TV series called A Good Place.
A good play. Yes, yes, yes.
So it's both people that died and they went to this place and they have to tally up the score throughout the whole lives.
Correct,
And
correct.
if you have enough, a good score, then you go to heaven. If you don't have a good score, you go to hell, right? So Thanksgiving kind of like the same thing. I believe it's kind of like a tally of what you've done so far this year. Have you been on track? Have you been doing good? Or have you been, a naughty boy for Santa? Right?
That that that's the one with
That's a funny one, though. They thought they went to heaven, but they actually went to hell.
that's right. It was a reverse story, right? Like they thought that everything was so well there in heaven, and they believed that they did everything right. But yeah, it was one of those
Yeah,
ideas that
it's
was
one of those
flipped
funny
over.
ones. So, but I guess the concept is you still have to, your life. You just tally up everything that you do throughout your life. So, if you have been a bad boy or bad girl throughout your life, now's the time to, get your scores going, build up some good points.
That is so true. All those little things that you think that didn't hurt anyone, figure something out and turn it around. Because I'm a big person thinking karma, right? If karma happens, and but you can turn it around. I think that if one misstep, and we can turn it around to make it into from a bad thing to a good thing, right?
Yeah. So usually the beginning of year you would sort of set some goals and your new resolution and all that. So now that we're almost 11 months over, how are you doing?
Well, exactly. I think that's important, right? Because everyone's in the goal setting, and it was actually quite funny because just recently this week, I was at a business networking meeting, and I was thinking, this is the time of year, at least on health goals, is when everyone starts backsliding, right? Like this is Thanksgiving, everyone's getting together, everyone's eating together, everyone's drinking together, and I think it's important to have a good time, but then this is also when they let everything go and their health just backslides for the next 2 months.
Which is interesting because Thanksgiving you're supposed to, traditionally you're supposed to like reap your harvest and eat what you sow, what you grow. I don't know how it turned into this thing that everybody gets sick and they get drunk and they get you know overweight and all that. So I don't know how that happened, but it sort of defeats the purpose of being Thanksgiving because you're not doing yourself any good.
I agree. I agree. I remember when we used to have these lavish Thanksgiving parties, and hopefully soon we'll start having it back here in Texas. Is everyone cooks their favorite? We tell them, bring your dish that's your mom's favorite dish, right? Like something that was traditional, right? Rather than buying something from Costco or from Popeyes, like a fried turkey or something. It was like cook your traditional
was good.
cook your traditional dish, right? And I think that is what Thanksgiving's about, is when you actually put some hard work in and making stuff from scratch, right? Like you said, so you're reaping what you sow. Back in the day, people would be going into the garden, grabbing whatever they have, or their livestock, and they're making their Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, that's what
right?
you should be thankful for. Is the stuff that you grow, and we have something in our backyard. I don't know, we have enough for a few.
I think for this winter, all we got is a bunch of peppers. So next to making like pepper soup and grilled peppers, I don't know what else we can do with these peppers.
That's why you have to get together with other people. You can share the crops. Right?
Exactly, and that's why this Thanksgiving, we ended up going to the beach. We ended up going to spend some time with strangers. Actually, coincidentally, we thought it would be sort of nice to be around people we didn't know if we can't have a nice gathering home.
So between Thanksgiving and New Year's is basically about a month. So when New Year comes around, you're going to make these New Year's resolutions, your new goals again. So what do you do from now until New Year's?
I think right now, between now and New Year's, it really should be the planning stages for your New Year's resolutions. And when I'm saying New Year's resolutions, it can't be the same one that failed this year, right? Because New Year's resolutions are things that's supposed to happen, right? Like your goals are supposed to happen, right? And I'm hoping that most of you have hit most of your goals, and most people may have not hit the BHAG. Do you want to explain what a BHAG is?
It's stand for big,
Hairy,
audacious goals.
Yes.
So it's goals that you didn't think is possible for you, but it's one of those about goal setting things, right? If you set your goal this high and you hit it, you think that's where your limit is. But you set your goal this high and you actually get this far, you actually pass where your goal is. You actually get further on than you expect you can do. So B hacks is a great way to set goals.
Exactly. And we always say set your goals high, shoot for the moon. And if you fall back down, guess what? You're way higher than you ever thought that you'd be able to achieve. And coming right up soon, we're gonna have a guest that's gonna be talking about goal settings and why some people can't hit those goals that they set for, right?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
It'd be like a slap in your face.
Exactly, because a lot of people says, well, I didn't hit any of my goals. well, you're going to find out why you didn't hit any of those goals. Right. So we're going to be talking about that. But before we talk about that, what is one great tip to plan for next year before the year is up, Nina?
Between now and New Year's, one goal you really need to shoot for is to don't get sick. It's one of those things that everybody between now and Christmas say, I'm getting sick because I'm so stressed, the weather's bad, or the kids is bringing home germs. You know what? Not everybody gets sick. You could be one of those people that get sick, or one of the other people that don't get sick. It's your choice. You just have to figure out how to be that person rather than the person that gets sick.
And stop blaming others why you're getting sick, right?
Don't bring the kids.
It has nothing to do with the kids. The kids are getting germs all the time and they get sick all the time and they're not making you sick. So, do what you need to do, boost your immune system, eat better, detox, whatever you need to do. And, we're here to help you boost your immune system. You want to find out how. But coming right up, we're going to have our guests right after these short little break. We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy later years with energy, vitality, and good health. But so often with age, our bodies show signs of things just aren't the same as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing recovery time, and sleep all go downhill. If you had physical trauma that happened to your body like I did, this happens much faster. I felt like a 30-year-old trapped in an 80-year-old body. But do you remember as kids, the boundless energy we had, how fast we recovered? This is not because of getting old, but because of active stem cells inside our bodies. These are the cells that can generate and regenerate all the cells and structures in the human body. They are the building blocks of our organs, tissues, blood, and immune system. They also serve as an innate repair system everywhere inside the body. But as we get older, stem cell activity slows down, become less effective in repairing damage, and decline. By the age of 20, we only have 1 billion stem cells left. By 30, they decline by 60%. By 50, they decline by 75%. 60 by 9%, and by 80, we're lucky to have 50 million active stem cells. But what if we can naturally stimulate our bodies to reactivate and regenerate new stem cells through phototherapy without drugs? Now we can with our LifeWave X39 stem cell activation patches. Reclaim your youth and look younger, feel stronger, perform better, and heal faster. Get your patches now at lifewave.com/chronically healthy life. It's not anti-aging, it is reverse aging.
Hey everybody, Christy here. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. We here at Chronically Healthy Life like to kind of flip things on their heads and think about things with a different perspective. And I was thinking about Thanksgiving weekend and the holiday and how a lot of times we go around the table and we say something we're grateful for. So I want to challenge you to kind of flip that on its head a little bit, because that's a very big, broad statement, especially if you have younger children. That might be too big of a concept. So I would like to challenge you to do something a little different. Like, for example, if you have very young children, one thing that could be fun is, what's the silliest thing that you did this year? Or the silliest thing that that happened to you this year? Something that's kind of lighter and makes them think in a more lighthearted way. But if you can also be more specific in gratitude, because gratitude is a very high vibration and it's a good thing to indulge in. But by being just more specific, for example, what we did around my table is we went around the table and we had to say something directly to one of the people at the table that we loved about them or were grateful for about them. And it's amazing how people start to kind of open up a little bit, and how good it feels to have someone look at you and say, even if it's a tiny little thing, it feels so good. It's a way of everybody getting into gratitude in a more specific, family-centered way. Okay. I am grateful for all of you being here. Thank you for tuning into the Chronically Healthy Life show. We love you all. Mwah. And we will see you on the flip side. Ciao. Hello, and welcome back to the Chronically Healthy Life show. I am so happy to welcome back the fabulous Jennifer Keable. She is your dedicated success and well-being strategist. Ooh, I can't wait to have this talk. Through a comprehensive well-being framework, she offers tailored coaching, workshops, alternative healing practices, and techniques that enhance mental health, well-being, confidence, time management, productivity, and innovation. Jennifer's proven strategies, customized approaches, and ongoing support empower individuals and leaders alike, fostering a positive workplace culture. She is rooted in integrated well-being. Her methodologies drive tangible, sustainable improvements that contribute to individual growth and organizational triumph. Join me in welcoming back Jennifer Keable. Yay!
Thank you so much, Christy. It's so amazing to be back here with you. I love your energy. I love your show. And so thank you for having me again.
Thank you. Thank you. We're thrilled that you're back. Oh. And our topic today is just so perfect for this time of year as we're closing out 2023 and heading for the new year. It's why you haven't been successfully achieving your goals. And I think this is brilliant. I think this is an absolutely brilliant topic that you've chosen for today.
Well, with New Year's just around the corner, going to be here faster than any of us will know it. I can't help but think about my New Year's resolutions. And then I can't help but think about all the conversations I've had with people who are either like, ugh, New Year's resolutions? No, I don't do those because they don't work. Or the people who are like, want to set something new, but they have that fear because it's like, well, it hasn't worked in the past, or it worked for 8, maybe 12 weeks if I was lucky. So it's like, you know what? It's time to do something different. It's not because you're not capable of achieving your goals. So that's what today's about. You can see the passion coming through.
Oh, I love it. I love your passion. I think this is something that it doesn't even matter if it's a personal goal or a professional goal, or it doesn't even, or how old you are. It doesn't matter. It's so important to feel that success. So let me ask you, why do you think it is that no matter how successful some people are and how many techniques they try, they just seem to have that one or two pesky things that they just can't get to? What is that?
From my experience, from what I've seen, from all of the research that I've done, and in my own clients, in myself, time and time again, it's because of our own identity. It's because of how we are perceiving ourselves, right? So how we identify what we say we are and aren't capable of, or at a subconscious level, so we don't even realize sometimes what we are and aren't capable of, that we're either able to or not able to achieve a goal, right? So if I were to dive into that a little bit more, how I might explain that is it's like, if you put your goal on this gold pedestal, right? So it's all the way up here, but you're all the way down here. How are you ever going to achieve that if you don't believe you're actually in alignment or on the same level as your goal? Right? Even if we bring it to something as simple as like weight loss, because that's a really common goal that people have. It's like, oh, I just want to lose that 10 pounds, that 20 pounds, that 50 pounds. The number doesn't matter. If you don't truly see yourself as that healthy individual, you might be able to achieve the goal, but you're not going to sustain it because at a subconscious level, which is where you make your decisions, you're not making the type of decisions that sustain that goal.
Right.
Like,
yes.
There's a big difference there.
Yeah, it's a disconnect.
Correct.
It's like, well, why, I need to lose 20 pounds. Oh, why bother? It doesn't work anyway.
I'm not going to keep it off anyway. So why does it matter?
Right.
Or I've tried 100 times before. Why would it work this time? Well, you're right. It's not going to work this time if that's the belief that you allow yourself to have. And it's okay to have those beliefs because we all have them. But the difference comes in recognizing that it's there and then getting curious about what beliefs are you holding on to that are actually sabotaging your own goals. Right?
That can be pretty scary. You know, I know I do this. I'm sure everybody does, that I start to dig into something like that, and then a wave of kind of fear will come up. And it is usually like, I'm not worthy of that, or it won't work anyway.
Right.
And then you kind of check out in whatever form we check out, you know, the television or whatever.
100%.
So yeah.
Well, and that right there, Christy, you just brought up a really good point. It's typically when we're going after those goals that are really important and meaningful to us that fear does come up. And that fear is typically based in a past experience, right? So if some past experience happened, and it doesn't matter how old you are as an adult. I don't care if you're 99 years old, if you're 103, if you're 70 or 60 or 30, it doesn't matter. Oftentimes, childhood, teenager, young adult experiences will happen, and we carry them with us for a lifetime if we've never intentionally worked through them, right? So that past experience sits in the subconscious and pulls up as fear, because it's like, well, in the past, when you tried to achieve this goal, you didn't do it, or so-and-so told you that you couldn't make it. And therefore you took it on as a truth rather than one person's opinion.
Yes.
And then that fear holds us back and prevents us from taking the steps that we want to take, the consistent steps. We might do it on the days where we feel really powerful, but not on the days where it feels a little bit harder. Right? So it's about getting curious about that fear. The more that we try and run away from the fear, the more it actually controls us and then prevents us from getting to those goals. But when you begin to acknowledge it and identify it, it's like, hey, fear, you know, literally having that conversation with yourself, even if it's internally, externally, whatever works for you, it doesn't matter. It's like, hey, fear, I see you there. I wonder what past experience this is related to. And I'm being curious about that past experience.
Yeah, it's sort of like talking to your inner child. I've done that where it's like I'm kneeling in front of my inner child and I'm creating a safe space. And tell me what it is. Just because sometimes it's like I know it's there, but I can't figure out what the heck it is.
Yeah. And those questions, right? When we literally ask ourselves the questions that we're curious about, it's a heck of a lot easier to get to the results. Whereas it's just like, oh, well, I don't know. I can feel there. I can't move past the fear. But if you talk to the fear and ask the fear, what are you afraid of? Okay, well, I'm afraid that I'm going to tell people I'm going to meet my goal and I'm not going to. And I'm going to look like a fool again. I want to look like a fool. I'm a successful person. They can't see me as a fool, right? So then it's like, okay. And if they did see that you didn't meet your goal, what's the worst thing that would happen? What's the best thing that might happen? And what's the most likely thing that's going to happen? Right? We usually ride the wave of the worst thing that's going to happen. But how likely is it? It's usually pretty small.
Yes. I had a college professor say, what's the worst thing that could happen if X, Y, Z? And then he goes, are you going to die? Is someone else going to die? No, that's not going to happen. So really, what are you afraid of? He kind of went on that track for a while. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. So I lose 5 pounds instead of 10 pounds, who cares? That's, it's still progress. It's still movement.
100%.
And it's nobody else's business anyway.
Well, and you know what? Some people are going to get involved in your business and some aren't. But at the end of the day, you're the one looking back at your life who's either going to be proud or who's going to be filled with regret. Yeah. So you get to make that decision today, right? Because your decisions today affect your reality tomorrow.
I love that. It's each of us, it's our life. So what is it that we're going to look back on and regret or not regret doing or not doing or whatever the case may be. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's critical. That's critical.
Very much so. Yes. Yes.
So when we kind of move past a limiting belief, so that we can become that type of person who consistently works towards a goal? Like, how does that look, or how does that feel? I'm sure it's individual for everyone, but generally, like, is there like have you noticed like a consistent kind of pattern in people when they're struggling to move, or hopefully not struggling too much to move past a limiting belief?
Well, yeah, so it's definitely a progress, right? It's definitely a work for all of us, right? We all have limiting beliefs, but we need to start off with identifying how are we contributing to this? Because typically we'll put the blame outside. Oh, well, it's my genetics, or oh, it's my work environment just won't allow for that. So we put all of the focus externally, or there's no room for me for promotion, all of that, right? Did anyone ever tell you that there's no room for promotion? Did you ever ask for the promotion that you want? Even if there's no role in there right now, but that you believe, right? So what are you telling yourself? And is it based off of fact, or is it an assumption? Because most of the times when we have goals that we're working towards and we haven't actually achieved them, or it's like pulling teeth out, it's because we have assumptions that aren't based off of fact, right? We're going into those limiting beliefs. It's like, oh yeah, it's my genetics, and I'm not meant to lose that weight. This is just the way I'm built. It's going off of these limiting beliefs versus seeing how it might be possible. I want that promotion. It doesn't exist right now. I'm going to ask them, right? I'm going to ask for that raise. I'm going to ask for the salary increase. I'm going to find out what that fear is.
I love that example that you used, because I've actually heard stories about people that saw a need within the company they were working in, but there was no actual job for it, and created something for themselves. You did that.
So this is what I'm telling, like, when I tell people that you need to believe in yourself beyond reasonable doubt, I'm not kidding. Believe in yourself beyond reasonable doubt, and then take the courageous action. So over and over again in my life, I have been placed into positions and got opportunities that other people have told me are impossible when I started to go for them, right? When I was in university, my second year of university, I was one of Canada's top entrepreneurs. My first time ever being a business owner, right? When I got out of university, I got a job being paid $70,000 annually. That was only ever offered to anyone who had 10 plus years of experience, because I believed in myself and I asked for it and I fought for it, right? At another company that I was at, you were in one role, it was either the role I was in or ownership, and there was only two owners of the company. Well, guess what? When you ask for something, opportunities open up that weren't there before. So when seriously, if you want to achieve your goals, believe in yourself beyond reasonable doubt. When the doubt comes up, that's okay. Write it down and then come up with all of the reasons why you can go for this, why this might be possible. And then go take the courageous action. Because the opportunities are there if you take the courageous action, if you believe in yourself beyond reasonable doubt. But if you allow the limiting beliefs to run the story, guess what? You're going to continue to play small, because you're following the limiting beliefs around like a little lost puppy dog. And it's okay, because we all have them. I'm not saying it in a place of like being mean, because I have limiting beliefs too.
Yeah, we all do.
But I consciously choose to be curious about them and to move past them. It's like, you know what, this is really scary, but I'm going to go do it anyway.
Mm-hmm. My biggest detractors are within my own family, not my immediate family, but extended family. They're always saying, you can't do that. Right. And I'm always saying, why not?
Right.
Who said so, and who made you the boss of the world?
Right. Well, and it's remembering that too, right? It's like so often, but people will change their decisions. The family members say, oh, you can't do that. That's impossible. That's never going to work. Like, are you crazy? But then people will own that as the truth. Or they'll ask, for one opportunity or two opportunities or 3 or 10 or whatever, and they'll get a no. And it's like, well, I tried. Obviously, it's not meant to be. Do you want to know how many times Walt Disney tried before he actually got the funding to start Walt Disney? He was told 300 and something times it was a bad idea.
And wasn't it like 2 bankruptcies or something before?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was something ridiculous like that. Yeah.
And a lot of the really successful people, that's what it is. They are told no over and over, but they believe in themselves beyond reasonable doubt. So it doesn't matter how many people tell me no, it doesn't matter how many people tell me I'm crazy, I am going for this.
Yeah.
And then taking that action.
That's so true. And sometimes the no kind of directs you down another path that is a yes. So that no path would have not been really good for you, but that no was actually a blessing that sends you down the right path, that where you get the yes, and it's better than you ever thought it would be.
Oh my gosh, over and over.
Yes.
Seriously. It's like every time I look at the things that didn't work out in my life, at the time may have felt really hard. It was just like the most beautiful, like double set of doors, widely opening. Right?
Yeah. That's the guidance. I love the guidance. The more you really get in touch and you do exactly what you say, the fear's coming up. Okay, good. If I'm feeling fear, it means I'm doing something. I'm moving ahead.
Right. I'm expanding. Yes.
Yes. So I had someone say to me one time, and I love this and I borrowed it, is, what if it's not fear? What if it's excitement? And then so now I'm like, wait, is this excitement? And I'm just misinterpreting?
Yes. I love that. I've heard it termed differently before, but I like that, right? What if it's not fear? What if it's excitement? Yeah. And then like actually answering the question, not just leaving it as a lingering question. It's like, okay, well, maybe if it is excitement, right, it could lead to this and this. And how might that feel? And just, like continuing to ask yourself these questions and explore what it would feel like to feel the excitement.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, like we so often talk about too, is it's like that idea of fear and that we perceive it as something negative. But the truth is, unless it's a fear that's actually designed to keep you safe, then it has a very real purpose and you should listen to that. But if it's something that exists because there's a growth opportunity on the other side, fear is a beautiful gift because that means that you are growing. If you don't experience fear, that means you're staying inside the same bubble, never growing, never expanding. And then how are we meeting our goals if we're not doing that?
And how are we getting any joy out of living? Because it's our show is about wellness across the board in every area. And this is an across the board topic because it doesn't matter whether it's a personal goal or a professional goal or any other kind of goal. It's about living your best life.
Well, and it's living your best life. And so often we try and separate the personal and the professional, right? It's like, oh, well, I'll just focus on this. I'll just focus on my personal, or I'm too busy to focus on personal. I'm just going to focus on professional. But the truth is that you will actually grow the most professionally when you grow personally, right? So when you are that confident being, when you do have that time management, when you do believe in yourself beyond reasonable doubt, right? Yes. Like all of these things, when you're comfortable with who you are, when you can share your emotions, when you know that if you didn't meet a goal, it's not because of who you are, or that you're not worthy, and that you can talk about these things out loud. Can you imagine how much stronger of a leader you will be when you can have these types of conversations and authentically talking about your own stories with your team?
Yes. This is a really great topic. And I understand you have created a webinar or a class, a course.
Yes.
Tell us about that. So we can have more of you.
I love it. So I am offering a workshop December 7th. at 10 a.m. at Mountain Standard Time. It's 1 hour. And we are going to go into exactly what I was talking about. So earlier, I kind of talked about these limitations that we place on ourselves, but that we're not often aware that they're actually there, but we keep hitting that wall of not actually achieving our goals or not achieving them sustainably. And so this workshop actually will take you through a whole bunch of questions so that you can reflect on them and begin to understand how you are holding yourself back right now and what you can do to actually move forward. So I actually just offered one of these classes. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. The aha moments that came from it were incredible. I had a woman sharing something about a goal and a dream. She had never even admitted to herself, let alone anybody else before. And the lesson that I did, like just the moments that it created were incredible. And I'm going to be offering it again just because it was such great value. And so December 7th, the link is there. I encourage people sign up for it. It's an hour out of your day that can save you years down the road to achieving your most meaningful goals. It's complimentary. Come join me because I would love, love, love to have you there.
Oh, I'm in. I'll be there.
Yes.
I think that's fantastic. That just makes me feel so uplifted and happy just thinking about it.
I love that, Christy. Yeah, I am so excited to be able to offer it again, right? It's top of mind for people right now. 2024, did they achieve their 2023 goals? If you didn't, that's okay. Right? It's not over. Let's learn from that. Let's figure out how you can moving forward. Just because something didn't work out in the past doesn't mean it can't in the future. Let's find a way and let's do it differently. Because what society says, just keep trying harder and harder, it's not the truth. It's not the way.
It is not the way. That does not work. No. Yeah, no. Well, let us know how we can reach you. We're going to come to the game plan workshop. Okay. But how, if somebody wants to reach out to you, how can we find you?
Yeah, so I'm on most of the social media platforms. The one that I'm most active on is on LinkedIn. I also have a Facebook group where I share goods in there every week. And then on Instagram, I'm there as well. And of course, if you want to reach out to me through any of those platforms, send me a direct message or my phone number is there too. Honestly, I love talking live to people because that's how we truly connect. That's where the biggest differences, the biggest changes, the biggest connections come from. And I'm all about connections. So never feel free. Never feel free to like, don't push it away. Don't be like, oh, but I don't know. It might be weird. I promise you, it's not weird. I'll love it every single night.
I can attest to Jennifer's genuine heart here because we've known each other a little while, and this is what you see is what you get with Jennifer. She is very real. So if she says that's true, then it's true.
Thanks, Christy.
You're welcome. All right. Coming up next is our biohacking tip of the week. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, it's Andy from Focal Academy, and on this week's biohacking episode, I thought we'll get back into nature. And we're here in Galveston on the Galveston beach. It's like the Thanksgiving weekend, and I thought it'd be sort of cool being out on the beach. And it's sort of amazing here, you know. It's like a lot of people don't know that our bodies work on frequencies. And it's so important, you know, to get back in touch with nature. You know, the sand, it has like infrared coming through the sand. We got great UV light coming from the sky. Even though we're a little cloudy, we're still getting UV light coming in. And it's about polarities, right? You know, basically the transfer of energy from the ground, from the sand, from the infrared to the UV light, and the difference in polarity is what energizes your body, what heals your body. And, you know, I think it's, you know, a little bit of the ionization of the air, the salt in the water. And of course, the water, right? You know, a lot of people, they talk about water and they say that water has this amazing healing properties. And I'm going to see how cold this water is. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. It's pretty cold. It's pretty cold. But hey, you know, I'm getting grounding of the energy. I'm getting a little bit of ionization from the air, UV light. What can be better to heal your body using the frequencies all around you? That's the biohacking week of this week, biohacking tip for this week. Get out in nature, get grounded, get on the sand, get some sun, get some water. I think this is the best way to connect back to nature and heal your body naturally. I'll see you all next week.
This is Christy Boyd Johnson of the Barefoot Learning Club. It is a sad fact that today politics have completely taken over the schools. Real learning has been sacrificed for political agendas. As a result, kids are not learning to read. We have second and third graders barely reading, except for those lucky kids who will read no matter what the schools do to them. Unfortunately, that is not the majority. When I was teaching, I watched how really good reading systems were systematically eliminated from the schools. I saw kids shutting down and believing that they were too dumb to learn. Worse still, by making reading unattainable, they are essentially stealing our kids' futures. So the rebel that is me went on a quest to find reading programs that really work, that work with our neurological systems to enhance and speed up the learning process. And the number one thing that needs to happen is that we have to teach our kids to read. That is why Alicia and I started the Barefoot Learning Club. We are giving everyone the opportunity to learn to read in a way that is simple, fast, and fun. Best of all, your kids will start having success and never again believe that they are too dumb to learn. Go to barefootlearningclub.com now and sign up. Join me in being a rebel and let's get our kids reading. If they can read, they can literally do anything.
Welcome back to Chronically Healthy Life. So how do you like Jennifer's interview?
I think it was really good when she talked about the goals, like what we call BHAGs, like the goals that people set really high and they're not hitting them is because they're not believing in themselves to be that person that could achieve that goal. What are your thoughts on that?
Kind of like reaching for the moon kind of thing?
Correct.
Which apparently can be done.
It's sort of funny you mentioning that because what TV show are we watching right now?
Something about mankind.
For all mankind on Apple TV, and we're talking about reaching for the moon, of course, and it's a race to the moon, right? This talks about the original Apollo 11, Apollo 12. I don't even know which Apollo it was. It was before our time when he landed on the moon. We're just joking about it. Hey, did our parents watch that? I don't know because we weren't born yet.
So what is the BHAG goal that you had this year?
I think a BHAG goal that I had this year was to be an international speaker.
Which you got close.
Really close. Like, I shot to the moon and, I fell down, but luckily I had my parachute. Right? So I landed safely down. I got to an international country. I got to speak to a lot of people. We were on international TV. So technically,
well, there you go.
Still international speaker, right? You have to figure out ways to do what you need to do, even when things don't work out, right?
Well, of course, we talked about last week how we ran into some people that didn't do us any good, but so we spent Thanksgiving is just two of us, so we went to Galveston, which is like an hour away from here.
Yes,
and Galveston is like a historic place in Texas. That's where the Juneteenth started. And they have a lot of haunted houses, and they have the only beach that's close to us. So that's where we went.
And we do miss a beach. When we're in the Bay Area, we used to go to the beach at least once a month. And Galveston is quite the drive. But I have to say this time around, the last time we went to Galveston, I think it was during the Mardi Gras, right? Like,
Mardi Gras?
Yeah, the Mardi Gras for Texas, right? It was slightly different from the time from New Orleans. But we found that the beach seemed a little dirty, right? But this time it was surprising. We're walking on the beach and there's nothing floating on the beach. There's nothing floating in the water. It was actually very nice. There wasn't a lot of people around. The weather was nice, at least for us coming from Canada. This is not cold at all, right? But it was nice. I got to walk on the water. It was cold, but it wasn't freezing cold. Definitely not. I think it's definitely to go to swim in, but it was very refreshing, and it really got us some time to really rewind a little bit so we can let go of things and plan ahead. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the point of taking you away from home is to reset, right? Basically, hit the off switch and turn it. Basically, control alt delete your mind, basically,
Correct.
right? So going away is a great way to do that, and that's because when you're in a different environment, you tend to think a little differently.
Hmm.
Especially when you don't have to work, you don't have to look at a laptop and your emails and all that. That puts you in a different mindset, and it's easier for you to let go of whatever happened in the past and think about your future. How do you want your future to look like?
Exactly. And, letting go of the past, sometimes remembering a little bit about your childhood, dreaming again. Remember, as kids, we used to dream big. But, I just bring that up because I got to go on this ice slide. That was really cool, right? I don't have a video of that. I'll share that later on Facebook. But, I figured out everyone going on this ice slide and they're sort of dragging their butt down as they're going down. But I just figured out how to go down, and Min's got the video. I thought that was hilarious because I'm watching everyone and no one's figured it out. There's always hacks, just like biohacks. We have hacks for everything.
Yeah, there's different ways to do anything, just so you know. So one way doesn't work, try a different way.
Exactly. But back on the topic of letting things go, it is that time of year when things don't work for you. Don't let that hold you down for achieving goals. We still got a month left, right? And if you have a big big hairy audacious goal, we got literally 40 days left in the year. I think it could be done. You have to believe in yourself. One of the things that Jennifer is saying was about, you have to just, don't be scared of what you're facing. And that's one of the things that we always talked about is, you know, uh, seeing the fear, face the fear, and do it anyways, right? A lot of things that we do is like, wow, that seems a little crazy. Who's going to do that? And if you fail, people's going to laugh at you. Well, we're gone to that age. We don't care if you laugh at us. We tried. And if we fail, we're going to make sure we achieve it next time around.
Well, today's Black Friday, and you know what Black Friday means, right?
Big sales.
Well, it means big sales for consumers, but Black Friday really means if you're a retailer,
Mm-hmm.
it takes you all year until this point to actually cover. You were in the red all year until this point that you actually turned black, which hopefully is the truth. But basically, it's an analogy, right? I mean, your life may have sucked for the last 11 months, just like any retailer. They were in the red for the last 11 months, just up until this point. That's when things turn around. So, never give up. Just keep trying. So eventually things turn around.
I love that analogy. And I did hear about that. And, and I think this is a great opportunity for all of us. If it ends up being your Black Friday, turn it around, right? This could be the peak of where everything went bad, but just tomorrow, things could just get better, right? It can just be infinitely better. We got 40 days.
Yeah. So let's talk about the season. How do you turn around your health in the last 30 somewhat days?
I think in the last 30 somewhat days, you really need to,
Is it like vitamins, or what do you think? What do you suggest?
Yeah, I think vitamins is actually not a bad thing to do because, I think for the next 40 days, a lot of us are not going to be eating the most nutritious stuff. Right. And, it's hard enough getting all the nutrition you need from your food. Right. So definitely, I would definitely recommend supplementing with some multivitamins. I would definitely supplement with some copper supplements. I think a lot of us are so deficient in copper. And when we're deficient in copper, there are a lot of things in our bodies that don't work right. And even for stem cell activation patches, if you're low in copper, guess what? you're not going to activate as many stem cells. So, definitely getting some copper supplements is definitely one of the ways to go if you're not eating meat or having stuff that has a lot of copper in it.
Well, I guess the other way I could think of is, since you're eating so much through the holidays, start learning to fast when you don't have to actually go in and eat a big meal.
Intermittent fasting. I agree.
There
I
you go.
agree. Like if you're gonna go out for those big meals, make it that one big meal for the day. I was just talking about this with some people just this week, and they're saying, well, how often do I need to eat? I said, well, you can eat in a certain window in intermittent fast, but if you're eating one meal, you need to make sure that is one big meal that you would normally eat for all 3 meals. And I think that's where people fail, is they eat a small meal, then they feel hungry, and then they fail ultimately, right?
So this is the right time to do the whole one big meal, and then stay off eating for 24 hours, and then you do another big meal.
And I imagine this weekend, a lot of you are probably eating that 1 or 2 big meals a day over this long weekend. And, it's all right. It's time to get back with family. It's time to be with friends. It's time to be thankful for them. But, make sure your body's thankful for what you're putting into it too, right? Don't overload on being too thankful for the food, because, just try a little of everything in moderation. But, enjoy your time, enjoy, the food, and be thankful for Thanksgiving.
And of course, part of being thankful is to be less stressed about everything. If you're a control freak, I was, but you have to kind of let go and let things flow. And when your stress is down, your immune system is actually better.
I agree. I think that is the one thing that people don't realize, is how much stress can cause digestive problems, but more so areas in your body that can be, that gets inflamed all the time. Stress can cause that. And mostly when you're stressed all the time, it does lower your immune system. And I think a lot of people are sick this time of year because they're stressed at work, they're stressed about finances. There's so many things to be stressed about, right? So yeah, try to figure out ways to dial down the stress.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Coming right back, we're going to have our closing thoughts. But before that, we have a quick, cute little video.
Hello, we are Mutts and Meows Rescue, a 501c3 nonprofit, foster-based, no-kill group. Mutts and Meows Rescue pulls dogs and cats from surrounding shelters in the greater Houston area. We even pick up dogs and cats abandoned on the streets. Mutts and Meows Rescue is foster-based and rely on your donations to keep rescuing. To know more about us is to know more about our furry friends and help them find their forever homes. Come visit us at Mutts and Meows Rescue on Facebook today and decide how you can make a difference.
Welcome back to Chronically Healthy Life. So, Jennifer talked about, setting goals and how do you not suck at your goals. So you have between now and New Year's to figure out what you want to do next year, and really think about it before you actually dedicate yourself to something.
I agree. It's time to set it now rather than New Year's resolution. Just get a little bit of a head start, figure out what your goals are, what you missed, and maybe revise it just a little bit, and you'll hit it next year. And probably even earlier on. You don't want to wait until Black Friday, right?
So who do we have next week?
Next week, we have Hannah Abad as our guest. It's going to be a very interesting interview, right? So
great. So join us here back on Friday, 7 p.m. CST. You can watch past episodes at watch.e360.com in the Vitality TV network. And we love to hear from you. So if you can give us your thoughts, your comments on our Facebook page, Chronically Healthy Life, and you can rewatch this episode and all my past episodes on our website, chronicallyhealthylife.com, on our YouTube channel, or if you have anything to say, just email us at anything@chronicallyhealthylife.com. See you next week.
See you next week.